I mean, Brian, I think the key question is what's going to happen on November 4th. I mean, OPEC is now meeting monthly. They're still sitting around, 4 million extra OPEC barrels on the sidelines. Will the Saudi oil minister decide to basically, unleash these barrels to try to cap the upside? I mean, the White House is making a lot of calls to key OPEC producers, calling Riyadh and trying to get more barrels. But there are no indications at the moment that OPEC is going to basically turn the taps to placate the White House and other big producers. The Indians are asking for more oil. China's asking for more oil. Japan's asking for more oil. But OPEC is sitting, with those barrels on the sidelines right now.
Yeah, and by the way, we have a lot of oil in the United States, and U.S. producers are not responding. I'll get to that in just 1 second. I think, and you know this as well as anybody, I think some of the concern is future demand, because if you look at the UK, for example, we are seeing COVID cases pop. 1 in every 5 new cases in the world is now in the UK. They're up 35%. There is concern about seasonality here in the winter. I think that Abdulaziz bin Salman of the Saudis and others, don't you agree that they're sitting and kind of waiting? Because what they don't want to do is put a bunch of new barrels back on the market, have consumer demand in the U.S. get crushed again in the fall and winter, and suddenly we're back to $42 oil.
I mean, that's what they are saying. They're saying we're being cautious because we continue to be concerned about COVID cases, about variants. Abdulaziz was also out saying, we don't have a shortage of oil right now. We have a shortage of coal. We have a shortage of natural gas. There is enough oil out there to meet demand. So you're right. They don't want to oversupply the market. But at the same time, they have acknowledged that demand for oil has probably already risen by 500,000 or 600,000 barrels a day because of gas substitution requirements. And that's going to be the big issue, Brian, as you know. If winter is going to be a cold winter and there's not enough gas on hand to meet demand, will you have demand for oil rise just as a substitution for power generation? So it's really coming down to a question about what does winter look like?
Well, and I know that, listen, everybody wants to blame politics for everything. I get that, whatever side or team you're on. But the reality for the U.S. producers, because people say, why don't U.S. producers just put more oil back on the market? We were at 13 million barrels a day. We're just above 11 now. Yeah, rig counts have come up a little bit recently. Scott Sheffield, a pioneer, said it best in an interview with the FT a couple weeks ago. He said if producers try to put more oil on the market, as opposed to giving the money back to shareholders, they get punished by Wall Street. So there's almost a bizarre economic disincentive for the biggest public oil companies to drill more, is there not?
No, absolutely. I mean, basically, investors are demanding capital discipline from these E&P companies. There are also ESG mandates. But again, the real question is, who has additional barrels? I mean, OPEC has always been the set of producers that sit on spare capacity. They play this role as a swing producer. And so when you have tight markets and you need oil immediately, you have to look to countries like Saudi Arabia. They're the ones that can meet demand in a crisis. And the question is, does Saudi Arabia judge the current situation to be an actual crisis?
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.